Done. 7 o'clock, I'd like to call to order the meeting of the Planning and Zoning Commission of the Village of Bartlett, counties of Cook, DuPage, and Kane. Please call the roll.
John Borkren. Michelle Sarwaz. Charlie DeVoe.
Here.
George Koziel.
Here.
Bob Carl.
Here.
John Miasso.
Here.
Julie Kapadakakis.
Here.
Amy McSwain.
Here.
Mike Weirden.
Here. You have before you the minutes of the July 2nd meeting. Chair will entertain a motion to approve.
So moved.
Moved by Bob, seconded by Amy. Is there any discussion? Please call the roll.
John Borkren.
Yes.
Charlie DeVoe.
Yes.
George Koziel.
Here. Yes.
Bob Caro.
Yes.
John Miasso.
Yes.
Julie Kapadakakis.
Yes.
Amy McSwain.
Yes.
Mike Weirden.
Yes. The next item is the public forum. If anybody has anything to address to our board tonight that is not on the agenda, please let us know now. Okay. Next item on the agenda is case number 26-04, good behavior. Are the petitioners present? If you plan to testify, would you please step up to the microphone and I can swear you in. Anybody else that plans to testify tonight, there are forms in the back. If you sign it and turn it in to one of the staff, then we don't have to swear you in. Please raise your right hand. Do you solemnly affirm that the evidence you're about to give is only the whole truth? Okay. Do we have the mailings, the newspaper publication, and the picture of the sign?
Yes.
Mark those exhibits A, B, and C. Go ahead and state your name and address if you're going to be a speaker.
For the record, my name is Andrew Scott with the law offices of Dykema Gossett, 10 South Wacker Drive, Chicago, Illinois.
Okay?
Kevin Bethio, 311 Linden Road North, Prospect Heights, Illinois, 60070.
Okay?
Joseph Pascola, JTS Architects, 1821 Walden Office Court, Schaumburg, Illinois.
Okay. Go ahead and whoever's going to start the case. And again, just state your name so that because this is recorded.
Sure. Again, for the record, Andrew Scott with the law offices of Dykema Gossett. Is it on? Appears to be on. Oh, you do? Okay. Thank you very much. Appreciate the opportunity to present to you. As just mentioned a moment before, with me this evening is Kevin Bethio. He is the principal with Prairie Retail Holdings, who's the petitioner in this case, and Joe Pascola is the project architect. The applicant, as I mentioned, is Prairie Retail Holdings, which will be one of several tenants in the property that you see outlined in red. It's an approximately 10,000 square foot building. It's got a Starbucks on one end, and then you've got various other smaller retailers located on the other end.
Andrew, I'm just going to interrupt for a moment. We have another commissioner that just joined online.
Oh, okay.
Who would like to be, and since this is at the very beginning of the testimony, we'd like to let her vote. So we want her to hear everything.
So
So if
start
you
from
could
the beginning?
Yeah, but just give us a second because we need a motion.
Sure.
To allow Michelle to join remotely.
Okay, I'll entertain a motion to allow Michelle to join us.
Second.
No, I can't make the motion.
Oh.
I make a motion that Michelle join us this evening.
Okay, moved by John Miazzo.
Second.
Seconded by George Koziel. Any discussion? Please call the roll.
John Borkren.
Yes.
Charlie DeVoe.
Yes.
George Koziel.
Yes.
Bob Caro.
Yes.
John Miasso.
Yes.
Julie Kapadakakis.
Yes.
Amy McSwain.
Yes.
Mike Weirden.
Yes. Okay. Michelle, things are in process. We just started, so you came at a good time.
So start from the very start again? Okay. For the commissioner who just joined, my name is Andrew Scott with Dykema Gossett. With me this evening is Kevin Bethio, the principal and the applicant, Prairie Retail Holdings, and also Joe Pascola with JTS Architects. They are the project architects. As is indicated on the application, Prairie Retail Holdings, they are the applicant and propose to be one of several tenants at the subject property. They're making this application in conjunction with Hello Highs SE LLC, which is actually the conditional license holder of an adult use cannabis dispensary. So they are joint applicants, but Prairie Retail Holdings is taking the lead in this application. What we're before you this evening is seeking a special use permit for an adult use cannabis dispensary. The subject property, as I alluded to earlier, surrounded in red there, is located at the northeast corner of South Route 59 and Army Trail Road. It's a single-story, approximately 10,400 square foot building with 64 parking spaces. The property is zoned B3, and the applicant will occupy an approximately 1,500 square foot retail space. We'll get into the details of it, and you can see perhaps in yellow right there, kind of where they would be situated in the building. And as I had mentioned, to the west end of that is the Starbucks with the drive-through, and then I believe there's a dental facility and a couple of other vacant spaces within the building. Access to the property, it's very accessible. There is one curb cut off of 59 located right here, and then finally there's another curb cut, this is the curb cut off of Army Trail. This is 59 right here. So 2 points of access that allow being able to get to the property. Can we go to the site plan real quick? There we go. So again, you've got Route 59 right here, Army Trail right here. These are the points of access that I just referenced. This is the Starbucks location, so we would be located immediately next to them in approximately 1,500 square foot 1,500 square foot space. The operation, while the applicant is Prairie Retail Holdings, it's actually going to be branded as Good Behavior. It's a DBA for the applicant. The signage that will be on the property, it will be very muted, very in tune with the other types of signage in the area. There will be one wall sign located above the entrance to the space, and there's also an existing monument sign out here, and there would also be a small panel of signage located there. I don't know how much folks are familiar with cannabis dispensaries today, so if I'm going into too much detail, let me know. But these are really nondescript facilities, retail facilities that you really don't know that they're there. This is not going to be a location where there are there flashing lights or cannabis symbols or anything like that. It's just again, from a signage perspective and from an operational perspective, it's very, very muted, and they do blend in very, very well to retail locations. Assuming we get all approvals that are necessary from the village, the plan is to start as soon as possible, ideally Q3, sometime in the next couple months, and ideally they would be open by the end of the year, Q3, Q4 2026. In terms of the floor plan, can we go to that really quick, please? Okay, so the entrance is located here, and there are basically 3 different zones within a dispensary. There is the public access, which you see right here. You have the entrance coming in, and this is where you would be greeted by an employee who would check your identification and make sure that that all verified and checked out. It's important to emphasize that there's nobody under the age of 21 is allowed in, even if they are with an adult. Nobody under 21 is allowed in a dispensary, and it's also a system for checking IDs that is very, very high tech. And so I've been asked questions before about, what about fake IDs that people buy on the internet? They just don't pass the systems that are available here. So that's what gets checked upon entry into the dispensary. And then in terms of the second area, you've got the limited access area. So they would enter in through this door. This is the limited access area here. It's, for lack of a better term, it's the retail sales floor. And so you're going to have ordering kiosks like you might see at a McDonald's these days, or some other fast food, where you can order your product, and it will be serviced at the point of sale here. They will have anywhere from 4 to 5 cash registers where the transactions will take place. And then the rear of the property, this is the restricted access. I'll talk about that in a little bit more detail. But that is where there is very, very limited access. The public can't get back there, and there are only a limited number of employees that work for the dispensary that are available to get back there. It's all on a key fob system, so your key fob is programmed to where you can go within the dispensary. Just in terms of general operations, overall, we expect to have 25, 30 full-time employees. They go through a rigorous training, not just when they start, but also as they continue through their work with the dispensary. And it covers all manner of areas that they would need to be aware of in terms of security, different elements of cannabis, what the different products are, being able to advise customers on how to handle it safely, how to track inventory. So again, it's a very, very intensive program of training that they would have to go through. On any given day, typically you're going to see 6, 8 to 10 employees, 10 for the busier times of the week or busier times of the year, 6 kind of on the low end, maybe during the later hours. But it's usually, again, anywhere from 6 to 10 employees during a general business day. The products that will be offered, it's a range. It's everything from flower that you see, just buds of cannabis. Something else I'll talk about a little bit more. People have this perception that you see these pictures of kind of a bud tender, some guy with chopsticks and a big glass bowl of flour, and the guy reaches in and sort of sorts out the product that way. That does not happen. It's 100% illegal in Illinois. Everything is fully packaged, fully sealed, and so you're not going to have any kind of experience like that, or if you have that preconception in terms of how product is dispensed. In addition, again, they offer the full range of products. They've got pre-rolled vapes, concentrates, and also edibles, and also topicals. In terms of service to the customers, again, I'll go back to the training a little bit, but for some folks, they're very, very knowledgeable, but there is a small part of the population that comes in and, they're doing it for the first time in, 25, 30 years, or somebody that's just simply new to cannabis is interested. And so all of the employees will be able to educate them on the different product types, the effects of the different strains of cannabis, usage guidelines so that, they avoid overconsumption. You hear stories sometimes of people taking a gummy and, half hour later, like, I don't feel a thing, so they drop another one. And part of the education process is to say, let it do its thing, don't overload. So again, educating the consumer on safe usage and consumption of cannabis. There will also be medical patient consulting. That's another important part. Also proper storage of cannabis, and also the legal restrictions on where you can consume. You can't consume in public places. It's illegal in Illinois. And also purchase limits. So again, a lot of services in terms of how to educate customers. I recognize that our application talked about hours of operation of being 9 to 9 on Monday through Thursday, 9 to 10 on Friday, and then Friday and Saturday, and then 10 to 6 on Sundays. We would actually like to alter that, or for your consideration. The state just passed a omnibus legislation that made a lot of changes to the Cannabis Act that they passed approximately 5 or 6 years ago. And so they now allow dispensaries to be open till 2 a.m. That is not the desire here, but we would like to amend the application to request consideration of being able to stay open until 11 midnight. It's not going to be 2 a.m., but just to clarify any inconsistencies that anyone might perceive in our application and what we're testifying to today. Another part of cannabis operations is very, very important is inventory tracking, and it gets incredibly detailed in terms of knowing what product comes in, what product goes out the door. It's real-time tracking so that you can always see the inventory that's there. It's a web-based system that allows the tracking of cannabis everywhere from seed to growth to delivery to a dispensary and then sale. You can always track that, so it's very, very robust in terms of inventory tracking and ensuring that there is no theft or diversion of cannabis products. For example, the details that you can get into are, the product type, the batch number, the grow facility that it came from, the amount, the date of sale. So again, very, very detailed. There are detailed inventory counts both in the morning and in the evenings, again, to ensure that inventory squares between what's with the state at the Illinois Department of Professional and Financial Regulation, and also what is happening actually on the ground in the dispensary. In terms of that kind of the seed to sale that I talked about, all that information is available 24 hours a day to state regulators. So again, there's a lot of oversight. Illinois has one of the most stringent set of regulations in terms of operations of a dispensary. In terms of deliveries, basically they happen 1 to 2 times a week. They are done at random times. You will get a call from the delivery driver approximately 30 minutes in advance. You don't know when it is. That's for the safety of, safety and security of employees, and again, just to avoid any kind of potential criminal activity that might come from anticipated regular deliveries. All of the deliveries are monitored. We'll talk about a little bit more about the security that is in the facility, but all of the deliveries are monitored, stored by high-definition cameras for up to 90 days. In terms of this property itself, there is actually there's kind of a dumpster area at this location, and the deliveries come in kind of a panel truck. It's not, it's not a semi or even a half semi or anything like that. It's basically it's not even the size of an Amazon truck. It is really more of a panel van that you would see that, maybe plumbers, electricians, that type of vehicle. So they would park here. There is a walkway here that would get to the receiving area. I'm sorry, the walkway is actually along here that would get to the receiving area, and then they would go through the delivery protocols that are established both by the company itself and also in accordance with state law. Another question that I get asked about a lot is, how do you deal with waste? I mean, sometimes you get product that spoils, or sometimes there's product that comes in and it is damaged in some manner. They will store that material inside, but by law, you have to mix it 50-50 with inert material. Sometimes it's cat litter, sometimes it's other materials, but again, none of the materials that are going to be disposed of at this facility will be live cannabis product, and it'll be mixed with, as I said, some other material so that it's rendered inert. Just in terms of function, I had alluded to before that a lot of folks are experienced and they know what they're looking for. Approximately 75% of customers will pre-order. They'll go online, they'll go on the app on their phone, they'll pre-order and come in, give their name, they'll get checked in, give their name, and they'll be in and out in 3 to 4 minutes. It's a very, very quick transaction. On average, for the other 25% of people coming into the facility, it is roughly a 6 to 10 minute process. I went into a facility last night and I brought some product just in case folks were interested about the smells or what it looks like or what comes. I literally walked into the place, I gave my name, made the order, I was in and out in 2 minutes. So even somebody like myself, inexperienced going into dispensaries for actual purchases, it was a 2-minute transaction in the facility. Just in terms of, compatibility with surrounding businesses, we've talked a little bit about, I've mentioned that these are really subdued facilities. You really don't know that they're there. They blend in very well with the retail fabric. Their hours of operation are fairly typical with other businesses in the area. There are no smells, no odors that come out of the facility. They've got very high-end HVAC systems that will control any odors. There are carbon filters within the vault that I'll talk about in a little while, so you don't have any kind of issues like that in terms of negative impacts, negative externalities on other businesses. There's very quick turnover in terms of customers coming in and out. We're actually required by the village's code to have 6 parking spaces, and on the site, there is actually, I believe, 64 parking spaces, and even when you take into account the other retail uses in there, it would be a total of 52 spaces, so there's still a 12 parking space surplus. So we're not going to create any issues just in terms of jamming up parking lots. It's just a very simple retail flow that you see in and out of the facility. I talked about before multiple points of ingress and egress. Again, it's easy in, easy out. We're not going to have any negative effects on other retailers, other businesses in the area. We also did a trip generation analysis, just kind of belt and suspenders to demonstrate that there's adequate parking, that there's adequate roadway capacity to be able to move in and out. That trip generation analysis was actually reviewed by the village's own traffic consultant, and she concurred with all the findings that this is a really low impact, low intensity use in terms of traffic. Just in terms of operational prohibitions, I had mentioned before, strictly nobody under 21 is permitted in the facility. Absolutely no consumption is allowed on premises, either within the dispensary itself or on the premises outside of the property. And then finally, there's no loitering that's permitted. I'll get into it a little bit more, but again, this is a very, very secure building, as is required by state law. And so there is always monitoring to make sure that, again, people aren't just hanging around out front, or that nobody just decides to get in their car and enjoy the products that they've just purchased. Prairie, Kevin, who has been in the cannabis industry for many years, working with a national company, it's just, there's zero tolerance for it. It's against the law, and it's frankly, it's just bad for business. And so that issue will be promptly addressed if it were to arise. And I had mentioned before that, again, very, very strict regulatory regimen here in Illinois. Dispensaries are subject to quarterly inspections by the Illinois Department of Financial Public Professional Regulation. There are also inspections, random inspections by the Illinois State Police. The Illinois State Police are able to see all of the video that gets taken, so there's complete access to that. So again, monitored by 2 different agencies within the state to ensure compliance with law at all times. I talked about the security, and within the facility, we don't give all of the details for hopefully obvious reasons, so the folks can't see where the panic buttons are and other security features. But there are a lot of safeguards that are in place to ensure that it's safe for the customers, safe for the employees. You've got, I had mentioned before, the key fob system, which restricts access of employees to certain areas of the dispensary. You also have interior and exterior high-resolution cameras that will cover the entire interior of the premises except for the bathrooms, so everybody is under constant surveillance. And then also we will have security cameras outside to be able to see a view of the parking lot immediately outside. There are motion detectors for different parts of the facility. I had mentioned before, there are different types of duress alarms, silent alarms that are available to all employees. And then I had mentioned there is an interior vault where all of the product is stored, as well as all of the cash used in the operation of the business. The vault itself has limited access to typical employees. Going back to very quickly, how does the facility operate? Again, somebody comes in and places their order, and then that order is fulfilled from the product in the vault up to the sales floor. So it goes from the highly regulated access area to the limited access area where the public is allowed. So there's not product sitting around, easy access to it. It's a very, very controlled retail transaction. So just in terms of, why is this good? Again, there are opportunities elsewhere. There are other municipalities that have dispensaries. These are high volume businesses. Sales taxes could be significant for the village, upwards of $240,000 each year in terms of sales taxes. These are also, they're drivers of traffic. I mean, this is kind of it's not a fully occupied strip center. And so, we do see a lot of people that will go and pick up their product, go to other businesses in the area. So we kind of see it as an opportunity to drive businesses in the other area. Cannabis itself is an expanding industry, and there's a lot of job opportunities, a lot of upward mobility opportunities. So there are, again, job opportunities. And then just in terms of demand on village services, we think it's a very net positive. Very, very few police calls, maybe 1 to 2 per year at most other facilities that I've worked on. In terms of emergency services, EMS, things of that nature. It just doesn't happen. So again, we're not a high demand of service, but we actually give back a lot just in terms of the tax revenue that's produced. So, kind of summing up, I mean, I can talk through the standards if you like. I don't know if you have questions. I know I've been talking for a long time, and maybe I can kind of sum up at the end, so how we meet the standards. It's all within our application in terms of the general special use.
Whatever you're comfortable with, you can certainly come back and address it.
Why don't I pause, and I'm assuming that there are probably some questions, and I can sum up at the end.
Go ahead.
I have a couple clarifications. You mentioned the spoiled products mixed with an inert material, and then are they taken away and disposed, or is that mixture then disposed on site?
So the first step is there will be just like any other business, we're going to have internal trash cans within the vault itself. So that the inert material will stay there. It will ultimately go out to the dumpster area and be disposed of there, along with regular other trash.
Okay, and then regarding the hours, so what's in the application, Monday through Thursday, 9 to 9, Friday and Saturday, 9 to 10, and Sunday, 10 to 6. Now, what are you proposing?
So in terms of the hours of operation, it would be and Kevin, correct me if I'm wrong on this, but it would be Monday through Thursday. We would keep the 9 a.m. opening. We'd like to stay open until 10 on those days. And then Friday and Saturday, which tend to be higher volume days, we'd like to stay open until midnight.
Still opening at 9, correct?
Yes, And then on Sundays, we would keep the 10 to 6 hours.
Okay.
Okay, thank you.
Sure.
Anyone else?
I have a question. You have security there. And you have a security guard there the entire time you're open, correct?
There will be there will be security there before we open, When there is an employee in the building and they have to come and open up, there will be a security personnel there then, and there will also be a security personnel after closing, as they're closing up the shop. So when the last employee leaves, that's when security leaves.
Thank you.
So what about, excuse me, security monitoring? You mentioned about no consumption in the parking lot. So how is that monitored? Is state police, local police, or just?
That is monitored by us, first and foremost. So security personnel will, it's a combination of walking the retail floor, being in the back, watching the video of the facility, but it's also kind of doing sweeps of the parking lot, walking around, making sure that, again, nobody is loitering, nobody's sitting in their car consuming.
I don't know if I missed the hours of closing.
So again, I pointed out that there was a change in law between the time that we filed our application and tonight. And so what we're asking for is on Monday through Thursday to be open from 9 a.m. to 10 p.m., Friday and Saturday, 9 a.m. to 11:59 p.m., and then Sundays, 10 to 6.
Thank you.
And this question for the staff. Did I read that there's not going to be a requirement for parking lots for new businesses passed by a state law? Or that we as a, go ahead, I'm sorry.
So that is only in regards to new residential construction within a certain distance of transit stations.
Or transit station, yeah, that's right.
So,
Thank
and it's
you.
residential.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you. I knew I'd mess it up.
Interesting. Did you get any calls on this facility?
We received one phone call and then this email that you have all received there. This should be attached as an exhibit to the.
Okay, is this the time to read it for Michelle?
I did have just one more. Okay, so, and there's only one entrance, correct? The main entrance off the parking lot.
One.
Back is just for
Delivery. Pickup and delivery, yes.
okay.
Okay,
If I could.
yes.
The square footage of this facility is, what is it, under 1,500?
1,500 square feet.
1,500? Any idea? I know there's another dispensary north on 59. I think it's Hanover Park, 59 and Irving Park, I believe.
Streamwood.
Is it Streamwood? Okay. And then another one in Schaumburg. I'm curious, size-wise, how does this compare to those?
So I believe.
Small, the same size, bigger?
They really vary, quite honestly. I live in Chicago, and there's a dispensary in one neighborhood to my east in Andersonville, and that's actually on the smaller side. It's about 1,100 square feet. And then I've got another one that's 3 blocks from my house that is approximately 2,000 feet. I believe the one that you're referencing in Streamwood, that's in Ivy Hall, and I think that one is actually about 2,400 square feet. So in all honesty, it can vary, but there's another dispensary in Rogers Park of the city that I believe is also about 1,100 square feet, maybe 1,200 square feet. So it can really vary, but they wouldn't take the space if they didn't think that they could be successful and be able to operate a safe operation and for it to be sustainable.
Thank you.
Anyone else? Okay, so since Michelle is with us virtually, Michelle, this is an email from Robert Heim, Planning Division. It says, "Dear Chairman and members of the Bartlett Planning and Zoning Commission, I strongly urge the Commission to deny Case 26042, the special use permit requested for the Good Behavior Adult Use Cannabis Dispensary at 1638 South Route 59. The most important question before the commission is not whether cannabis is legal. The question is an adult-use cannabis dispensary the correct business to place directly next to a children's gymnastics center and near a residential neighborhood? The answer is clearly no. Bartlett Gymnastics Center, located immediately next door at 1675 South Route 59, serves preschoolers, school-aged children, competitive athletes, and their families. Children should not be exposed to cannabis advertising, customer activity, and increased dispensary traffic every time they attend a class or competition. This location raises serious questions. Increased traffic during already busy class drop-off and pickup periods, greater pedestrian risk for children crossing or walking through parking area, parking conflicts between dispensary customers and gymnastics families, cannabis signs and branding directly beside a child-focused business, evening dispensary activity overlapping with children's classes, an open gym, the possibility of illegal parking lot consumption or impaired customers driving near families, additional enforcement and security concerns placed directly beside children, families becoming uncomfortable and leaving an established Bartlett youth business, a damaging precedent for placing adult-oriented businesses besides youth facilities, potential negative effects on the desirability and perceived value of nearby homes. Homeowners invested in this community with the reasonable expectation that Bartlett would make careful land use decisions and protect families and residential neighborhoods. Even the perception that this location is becoming less family-friendly could discourage future home buyers and create legitimate concerns about property values. Residents should not be forced to accept that risk simply to accommodate one applicant when more appropriate locations may be available. Tax revenue should never be the deciding factor when children, neighborhood character, traffic safety, and homeowners' investments are at stake. Once the special use is approved, the impact cannot easily be reversed. Bartlett can recognize that cannabis is legal while still concluding that this is the wrong business and the wrong location. A dispensary does not belong directly beside a children's gymnastics center or so close to the families who live in the surrounding residential neighborhood. Please protect our children, support the established gymnastics center, preserve our neighborhood, and safeguard residents' investments. We're recommending denial of case number 26042. Respectfully, Robert Heim, H-E-I-M, Bartlett resident. Please refrain. Any other? Okay, at this point, I shall open it up to the public.
Bob Heim.
Yeah, I'll go ahead. Hey, thank you for reading the letter. I really appreciate it. And I'll come up to the microphone. Yes, I'm Robert Heim. I am a longtime Bartlett resident of 35 years or more in this lovely community. I want to thank the entire board for doing a phenomenal job.
We need your address?
Sure. Absolutely. Grant me. Good.
Your address for the record.
Oh, and my address, 1584 Edgewood Court, Bartlett, Illinois, 60103. Thank you for showing that lovely map. You failed to mention something very important, and we covered it, which is the gymnastics center and also the Starbucks coffee that is right next door. The Starbucks drive-through is directly adjacent to the rear back of the building. So there's really no access for people to walk in the back of the building to do any kind of deliveries. All deliveries will have to be done through the front of that facility. There's a lot of people in that parking lot. Bartlett Gymnastics is always full of people. Starbucks parking lot is always crowded. They get deliveries at 12 o'clock every night, Bartlett Starbucks does. So it's a very busy, congested corner. Also, there are only 2 points of entrances. The one that's westbound going on Army Trail, and if you wanted to come from the south on 59, you actually have to make a U-turn, make a left onto Army Trail, and swing around to come into this new center. So it's not as easy as it's portrayed. It's a very difficult parking lot to actually enter into. Another concern is the hours. Hours of operation is really concerning to me because it seems to be varying. It was 10 o'clock, now it's 12 o'clock. What's going to happen is, and I think we can all agree, is people are going to buy the product and then sit in an empty gymnastics parking lot and consume this product. You can't control it because you're controlling the front parking lot, not the back of the facility. The back of the facility happens to be adjacent to the Far Hills subdivision. There's 40 or 50 some homes in there, and we have some of our homeowners here. I also happen to be the president of that homeowners association. So it is a very big issue for us to have this particular business so close to both private dwellings, family structures, and the gymnastics center. It's very, very concerning to us to have this particular business. We're not dismissing that a business like this shouldn't be in Bartlett. I just feel, and we just feel that this is really the wrong location to choose. The other you mentioned the other facilities. Those are all freestanding facilities. They have far more parking available. They have far more capability of doing security in those parking lots. There's no way to do the security in this parking lot. The police are going to be called quite a bit. There's a lot of loitering already happening at the gymnastics center when the gymnastics center closes. We have called the police many a times. You can even check to make sure because people hang out summer and winter. Once this cannabis center is opened up, there's going to be far more people consuming that product in that particular area. Very, very concerning for all of us.
I kind of differ with you about your U-turn. There's a drive-through right into the gymnastics. So if I'm going northbound on 59, as the gentleman pointed out, I can turn right in there. Yeah, it's cutting through the gymnastics
Center every time, right.
But I don't have to make a U-turn to go back to Army Trail.
You do if you go south on 59. You cannot make the left into that parking lot from there. That is a right turn only exit. Cannot turn left.
You mean up on 59?
On 59.
Right, but
to the parking
I
lot.
would just go down to Army Trail.
And then come in and then turn around.
I would come in and turn.
Correct. But you wouldn't be in front of, you would have to, turn around there, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it's not as easy as portrayed, like, oh, it's just easy to drop in.
Okay.
It's a little bit more difficult than that.
Well, if there's a loitering problem now at the gymnastics center, what kind of people are loitering there?
People drinking beer, people hanging out, people playing music, people smoking. My concern is if we have a cannabis dispensary, it'll be more exemplified and brought up a little bit more than what it is currently right now. I'm assuming, much as these assumptions were made here. We talked about how secure the facility was inside. I'm not as safe thinking that it's going to be on the outside that same way.
There's always just the ability to call the police, just like now.
And you're absolutely right. And calling the resources and calling public safety is our number one concern. And certainly we can be doing that all day long. Is that the right resource to be doing? Is that something that we should be doing every day? Is calling police that, hey, people are smoking
If
weed in the
there's a
parking lot?
problem,
Yeah, of course. Yeah, that's what we do.
Christie, did you?
Can I,
I am. Yes. Yeah, absolutely. I am done. Thank you for listening.
I just wanted to ask you, how bad is your loitering problem today at the gymnastics center? And who are the ones that are hanging out there?
Well, I'm just going to refer to my wife. She doesn't have to speak. In the wintertime, I'm going to use the wintertime example. It was a very cold evening. It was probably minus 10 degrees. And there was some person just aimlessly walking through the parking lot. Made absolutely no sense, right? Gymnastics center was closed. Starbucks was closed. They were just walking around the parking lot. It was very concerning to us, so we had to call the police. Prior to that, there were people who were just not necessarily doing a car meetup place. They were just hanging out on motorcycles and cars playing loud music at 11 o'clock at night. It's just an open parking lot. It's lit very well, and people just hang out there.
Is this teenagers or adults?
The one in the wintertime was, I'm going to say 22, maybe, 22, 23,
Okay.
which is prime target for the market that they're looking at. That's truly their demographic, so that's concerning to me. And-
No, if you want to speak, you need,
Yes, that topic, yeah.
yes. Okay,
All right.
thank you.
Agreed. Thank you, everyone, for listening, and thank you.
All right, thank you.
Joshua Shaw.
My name is Sushma Shah, and I live in Far Hills Division. Our house is the first house when you enter the area.
What is the address, the street
Oh,
address?
sorry. 1528 Far Hills Drive.
Bar Hills, okay.
Yeah. So our concern is, since I'm the first house, I have seen a lot of people park cars in front of our house. And I'm totally against this because I agree with Bob that having a dispensary by the residential area. We have a lot of young kids riding bikes, walking and all that. We have teenagers who live in our neighborhood. And, I have seen a lot of dispensaries, but I never seen one by the residential area. And I have lived there for 24 years now. And I agree, there is Starbucks, the traffic is there. And even since my backyard faces 59, even in the night, there are so many disturbances. People are going on bikes with full speed, and they're screaming and they're yelling, and it's just disturbs everything. So it just, I do not agree with having a dispensary, especially during this time when teenagers are very easy to get hooked onto these things. And so I'm totally against it.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
That's it? Okay. Fill out a slip, please.
My name is Lisa Heim. Bob is my husband. The only thing I want to say,
Address again, please.
I'm sorry, sure. It's 1584 Edgewood Court, Bartlett. The only thing I want to say is if you need such a high level of security, is it really worth it? And is that a safe thing that we want in our neighborhood? If you have to have monitoring, this, that, the other thing, the policeman out, all kinds of things, it's not a safe thing to have. If you need that much security, that's all I want to say. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Marie Sasso.
You don't have a slip filled out?
I don't have a slip?
Okay.
Okay. My name is Marie Sasso, and I live at 1551 Far Hills Drive in Bartlett. I just want to say that my concern with the dispensary location is that we have had a lot of theft and burglaries and robberies in our little community. There's only one way in and out of there. If you come out of that location where the dispensary would be, so if somebody is not loitering in the parking lot, what you would naturally do is turn right, and then turn right again, and you're in Far Hills. You're in our subdivision, which we have already had a lot of unwanted interest in our homes. And so my concern is, to the point of my neighbor, people will come there and use their product, and I am just afraid of the safety of our community. We don't have the level of security that, some communities, it's not a gated community. We don't have restrictions from people coming into it, and they come in all the time. When people are coming in there, they'll turn around, they'll do U-turns, cars will hang out there because, again, it's just kind of easy access. And so I just want to bring that to your attention if you're doing a drive-by from there, to take a look. And if you were going to drive out of the parking lot, where would you go? And you would come into Far Hills neighborhood. That's my opinion. So
Well, I mean, there are a lot of restrictions with the state about the public consumption, and they're eager to get their product and leave and go do it at home, and not have it open in their car or doing it out in the parking lot or something like that where they could get stopped. And as far as security, I mean, you have banks have security a lot of times while they're open. We have a police officer here at this public meeting. So, I mean, it's just this day and age, it's a good thing to have security.
It's just my concern with that being literally my backyard. And if you were going to come through there, so I just wanted to go on the record. So thank you for listening. Thank you for opening this up to us and allowing us to voice our concerns.
Okay?
Thank you.
Anyone else? Yeah.
I have a,
Good evening, everyone. My name is Julia Bursler. I live at 1551 Far Hills Drive. My comments are going to be quick. The spirit and heart of Bartlett has always been, we are a family-friendly community. That is what is at the core of this community and why we moved here. Dispensaries bring in an element we do not want in our community, period. When you look at other dispensaries and where they're located, they are not in these types of areas with the kind of spirit that we have here in our community. So I'd like to go on record to say I am dead set against this. This is not the core of what Bartlett is all about. Thank you.
Okay. Anyone else? Charlie, you were...
well, I had a comment. People are concerned about the right turn in, right turn out.
Hold on. We said at the beginning, if you intended to speak, please fill out a form. Now we have several violations of that. Please, I'm demanding that you fill out a form and turn it in before you come up to the podium. Those are the rules. Go ahead.
A concern about right turn in, right turn out. There's a number of businesses throughout the village, and it's common to have two entry points, right turn in, right turn out, whatever, left. I don't see that that's such an issue in this case. I don't see that it's an issue at all in this case. It's controlled traffic. It's somewhat controlled by the state. They made the decision as to where the right turn in, right turn out was going to be. It is part of a business community that they have that type of access.
Charlie, did you have something?
No, thank you. I have a question for staff. I know this is looking forward because it's not happening right now today. What kind of a comment have you received from, or education that you've received from other villages over the years that there have been the facilities such as this? Have there been problems that police activity has been called?
I will say that when we had a previous dispensary that came in, the police chief had contacted other communities, and they had not had any incidents. The communities that he contacted had said they had not had any incidents at the dispensaries that he interviewed. So, but that was, what, 18 months ago or something?
So you're saying that, as far as you know, there haven't been any need for police presence?
I'm saying that's what the police chief said when he called. It's hearsay. I didn't speak to the different police, I didn't talk to the other departments. So the police chief that was here at the time had reached out to other communities to see if they had had any calls for police, and they had not reported any at that time.
Okay, thank you. Go ahead.
Bypass Sony?
Hi, good evening. My name is Vipa Soni. I live in 1525 Wood Creek Trail. It's the same Bar Far Hills community. Our house is the first on the left. When you turn inside the Far Hills, left, first house, corner house. I have a little kids, and I'm definitely against this. I agree with Bob and everyone. I little kids running around, playing in we have a playground right soon as you come in our community. So my kids are playing bicycles, we're walking, the families are, and if the people come in from that Starbucks parking lot, they would come directly into our, if they go around. And so I'm kind of concerned because our community has a lot of kids. I'm only speaking behalf of mine because we are the first house, and my kids are always playing around. We have a lake right there, so they go around, and I'm concerned if this is something behind our community, it would attract more traffic, and I'm concerned for my kids. That's all.
Thank you.
Lisa Coyne?
Yes, thank you. I'm Lisa Coyne, 1558 Far Hills Drive in Bartlett. And just echoing what everyone else from our Far Hills neighborhood has said, I do oppose this really because it's adjacent to the gymnastics, a family, children facility. I raised my kids in Far Hills. I think that it being a family community is so important. We need to raise our kids in a safe environment, not exposed to these things. And just, side note, we have had a few issues. I've lived in my house in Far Hills for almost 30 years. Many years ago, we did have, someone wander into our neighborhood who was on something, and he drowned in our pond, and our kids had to see that and find that and live with that, and it's just, we don't want to draw more opportunities for those kinds of things to happen in our neighborhood. And I'm also aware of another incident where a group had jumped the fence in the gymnastics parking lot and come into our neighborhood and actually come into some of the homes, presumably I don't know why they were robbing a house, but it just seems to invite characters that we'd rather not see in our neighborhood. So for those reasons, I'm opposed. But thank you for your time.
Is that it? Okay, some of these concerns don't really ring true with what is being proposed. I mean, this is not like trick-or-treaters coming along who might be eating out of their candy bag and throwing their wrappers on your ground. I remember when Bartlett High School first went in, there was a death. A student got hit on Army Trail Road. Does that mean we don't put high schools or other schools by fast-moving roads? I mean, there are things that we have to look out for. And this is such a heavily regulated industry by the state that there's going to be trouble for them if they are out there consuming their products in public. They're supposed to buy them and take them home. And if people get caught, they're going to get fined. They're going to pay a big price for it. It's just something to consider, anything that goes in. I mean, that used to be a dry cleaners. Dry cleaners sometimes have lines out there and cars parked. As the gentleman said Andrew, when he gave the testimony, most people are only in there a few minutes and they're gone. They certainly wouldn't be inebriated when they pick up their products, or it would be detected by the way they drive. And so we need to be aware of that. Any other comments? Go ahead.
I am not seeing a big difference between this location and the one that was at 59 and Stearns. I see this gymnastics facility being in very close proximity, just as a daycare was. I see the traffic very similar to the McDonald's, comparing the Starbucks. I am a patron of this plaza very frequently with that Starbucks. I live right off of Route 59, so I do cut through quite frequently the Bartlett Gymnastics, and it is very busy over there. I would not pull out to go north on Route 59. I would not pull out onto Army Trail Road. I would go cut through always. I have a concern with Bartlett Gymnastics being right there, and I just want to note that.
Okay, anyone else?
I guess I have just the opposite feeling. I see this being very different from the other one, and that's because the entrance is completely away from the gymnastics. The other one, the entrance was right common almost with the daycare. So I see people coming into the facility, getting their product, leaving, whether they cut through the parking lot to go north. I don't see it affecting the gymnastics or it being detrimental to the gymnastics at all.
Okay.
Two questions. How close are the homes, the closest home to this facility? Does it meet the requirements?
There are no requirements.
Location?
There are no requirements.
There are no requirements.
Were there a lot of certified mailings that went out? Is that what you're asking? Were they within 250 feet?
Correct. Right, what, the 250-foot distance
For the notification.
business to a home, and is there a required distance from the dispensary to the gymnastics center?
No, there is no.
That's open.
There is no required.
Distance is open. It's not controlled.
There's no required distance between dispensaries and residential. What I'm seeing here from an aerial is it's almost 300 feet distance from the rear entrance of the dispensary to the nearest home.
Okay. John, I think you had a comment?
Yeah, my comment is, I understand your concerns, the people that came up here and spoke, and I respect your opinions. Now, I get the sense that you believe there was going to be people coming to the dispensary that, how can I put this? That all they want to do is get high, that type of thing. Now, there are other people, a lot of other people like myself that go to dispensaries to get gummies so they can sleep at night because they have 4 bulging discs in their lower back. So there's those kind of people that are absolutely no issue. Now, the other thing, your letter, Mr. Himes, said the Bartlett Gymnastics Center is located immediately next door. I don't view it as immediately next door.
No,
it's a separate building.
It is a separate building, but it's behind.
It's a separate building behind.
It's a separate building behind.
Yeah.
We need to come up to the microphone.
Can I come back up? Perfect. Okay, I'm so sorry. Well, the way how I see it is the back of the building, there's the drive-through for the Starbucks, and then another lane of traffic, and then immediately would be the gymnastics center right there. That's how close it is.
Yeah.
So there literally is no walkway behind a dispensary. It would be the drive-through lane, and then another lane of traffic that people use to drive around the gymnastics center, and then the sidewalk starts for the gymnastics center. So it's that tight. The distance between those two buildings is extremely tight. So it's not like, so when I look at it, I view that when people are at the gymnastics center from 9 a.m. to probably 10 p.m. every day, early morning they have preschool, and then at the end of the day they have teens, they're doing gymnastics. The place is busy all day long. So if you look at the young children, school-age kids, teens, high school kids, and some early college kids. It's filled with facility. The facility is filled with kids under the age of 21 all day long. That's a concern, right? And as people drive through the parking lot, and there are certain demographics, and I agree, people buy gummies for different reasons, people buy the cannabis for different reasons. And I'm not disputing that we can or can't have cannabis. That's not the discussion. The discussion is how close it is to the gymnastics center and how close it is to the homes. Those are our concerns. And maybe a different location would be better proposed. I don't know where, but it just seems a little bit too tight, in our opinion, for the Far Hills subdivision, too tight to where the homes are, too tight to where the kids are. It just seems a conflict of interest for us.
You also mentioned that children should not be exposed to cannabis advertising.
Absolutely.
Is there going to be advertising?
Oh, well, that's not true. You said there was advertising, subtle advertising. How are people going to know it's there? Right, okay, I apologize, but, right, there's a fine line. Things change. We all know things change, and then we're going to come up for a meeting, and then we're going to make sign changes. So I'm just being cautious of that as well. I'm sure there's going to be some kind of a flyer out there, a half banner that says, welcome, good behavior, cannabis.
They're very limited
Bartlett.
on what they can do.
I'm not disputing that, but that's probably what's going to happen. You're going to have to get people to come in there. There's going to be advertisements. There's going to be social media posts to get people out there. That's certainly going to be a given. My concern is too much of that. There's also going to be the concern of people walking around. I don't think there's enough spaces as well. I mean, I'm not a parking expert. When you look at 64 spaces in the entire lot, 30 of them are used for Starbucks. Another 10 are used for the eye doctor in a corner, and you got 6 employees, so what is that, 30, 10, 36, you're full, right? You're full. So people are gonna start parking in the gymnastics center. Hey, that's next to my fence. I live right there. I'm not happy with that. That's my concern.
Okay.
Thank you.
All right, thank you.
Could I ask a question to this gentleman? Could I ask a quick question to you? How many people park from the gymnastics center, would you say, behind your house there that utilize the gymnastics center?
On a Saturday, it's full.
Okay.
Full. The lot is filled. And as you know, just to look at the overhead graphic, the gymnastics center is obviously a freestanding building. It has parking that's close to 59, and then there's a fence, the wooden fence, which is what I live against. That entire fence is full of cars every Saturday. The lot is full.
Okay.
Okay?
Anyone else?
Question directed to staff. Is there any way for someone from the gymnastics center to walk behind the dispensary?
If they're walking in a drive aisle or through the drive-through, I don't know what.
Yes, is your answer.
I mean, you could walk, I guess you could walk from the front around the corner.
You could walk all around the building.
Sidewalk between the two buildings.
I did it yesterday.
Right, but
You just,
And that's,
I don't understand, I don't understand what you're trying to ask.
I think you have a bigger
well, there's
chance
the
of being hit
concern
by an
about
electric scooter.
access behind the building.
Scooters, shit.
And it's common for locations with a drive-through to have one lane for the drive-through and one lane for go-around, pass-through. So you can't control 100% some form of access behind the building. And you could have that problem anywhere in the village, not just here. And I don't consider that to be a problem.
I mean, if you're talking about congestion around buildings, look at J.C.'s and 120 Live and stuff like that. There's not a whole lot of room for delivery and parking and everything else. And this certainly has more space than that.
I'd like to discuss hours. I'm not in favor of the requested expanded hours, especially midnight. get other opinions, I guess. I could maybe go until 10 o'clock, Monday through Thursday, and 10 o'clock. I'd prefer to stay with the hours that were originally in the original conditions. Ivy Hall, according to their website, Monday through Thursday is 8 to 9, Friday and Saturday is 8 to 10, and Sunday is 9 to 8. So I just don't see the need to be open till midnight. I mean, if people are gonna come and get the product, they'll do it until 10 o'clock.
Understood. The response that I would give is that there are potentially other dispensaries in the area that are going to go to those hours, and so it's just a matter of competition, kind of keeping that business within the village and not losing out to customers that may go to one of the surrounding dispensaries. So that's the reason for the request.
How long ago did the state make those changes?
I think it was, the governor signed it into law, I'm going to say early July. Like, I think it was before the 4th or very late June.
He said after they had done their application to us.
Yeah, I'm still not in favor of midnight.
What about 11 o'clock? I mean, pizza places a lot of times too. Yeah.
Are we supposed to include their request in this
Be the conditions.
particular condition?
You can add conditions of, if you're going to make a motion, you can have conditions to add restrictions. So if there were restricted hours that you wanted to put in there, that would be part of your recommendation. That would go to the village board for their review as well.
So if we just send it as the original request, then he would, when they present it to the village board, then it would be up to the board to decide if they want to allow the expanded hours.
Correct.
I certainly wouldn't see a problem with 10 o'clock instead of 9 o'clock.
No, 10 o'clock should be no problem.
Or even, I wouldn't with Friday going to 11, but yeah, whatever.
It's a competitive market for you, and you need to adjust your hours and be competitive. You do have competition in the area.
Yeah, I still have trouble buying that. I mean, if you have a customer and they're a routine customer and they want to utilize your facility and it closes at 11 o'clock, they will get there before 11 o'clock, regardless of, somebody 4 miles away that might be open until 10 or 12 o'clock. Right?
I think you're right for regular customers, but again, things happen in life, and your schedule doesn't always work out the way you wish. I guess the question: what concern do you have about 10 to 11, for example? Like, what's going to happen? Why is that different than 10?
Just
Perception. Just it's 11 o'clock.
a little of that, and just traffic at that time.
It's much lower.
I understand that, but
I think you have people that work different hours, and so again, it's a matter of being able to serve your customers and also to maintain sort of a competitive edge with, we don't know what's going on in other municipalities right now. This is all very new. But again, our anticipation is that everybody's going to want to, increase their hours, so we want to give Mr. Bethio's facility, the best opportunity to succeed. So if that's, an 11 o'clock closing hour, Friday, Saturdays, then, again, just to be able to develop the customer base and, be able to keep the business within the village.
It's a reasonable answer. Anyone else?
Could I request a recess?
Yes.
Could I request a recess for a few minutes for a break?
Break.
Or can I be excused for a couple minutes? What would
Okay.
you prefer? Are we ready to vote, or is there still?
Motion? You need to,
No, I can wait if we're going to make a motion.
motion? Anyone have a motion?
Motion for a break, is that what it?
No. She can wait if we're ready for a motion.
Yeah, for sure.
Do you want to make a motion?
No.
I'll entertain a motion.
Okay, I'll make a motion. Case number 2604, good behavior for a special use permit to allow a cannabis, adult cannabis dispensary, based on the, make a motion to pass on a positive recommendation to the village board based on the findings of fact and the conditions presented by staff.
Without altering any hours?
I'll let the village board handle that.
Okay.
Second.
Okay, hold on. There's a motion on the floor at this point. I close the public hearing. Now,
I'll second it.
okay, now Charlie is going to second that. Any further discussion?
No.
Okay, so the staff, the public is over. The staff, the village board can alter your hours for you. Okay, please call the roll.
John Borkman? Charlie DeVoe?
Yes.
George Koziel?
Yes.
Bob Picaro?
Yes.
John Miasso?
Yes.
Julie Kapudakakis?
No.
Amy McSwain?
No.
Michelle Sarwaz?
Yes.
Thank you. Mike Weirden?
Yes. Okay, we shall pass on a positive recommendation to the board. Stay in touch with Brian, right, to find out when it appears. It'll go to the committee of the whole and then the village board. Anything under new business, old business?
I anticipate we'll have a case again next month.
Okay. Any motions to adjourn?
So
Motion to adjourn.
Oh, we're slow tonight. John Miazza moved to adjourn. Is there a second?
Second.
Okay, second by George. All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, we're
Aye.